A tense wait in the final seconds.
Ignition, 2, 1.
As the biggest and most powerful rocket ever built gets ready to fly.
We have liftoff.
Starship slowly pushed up into the sky. So far, so good.
Propulsion reports first stage engines nominal. What a sight!
A few minutes into the flight, it was time for the lower part of the rocket to separate. But multiple engines failed and Starship lost height. It began to tumble. So the rocket's flight termination system was activated.
Starship just experienced a rapid unscheduled disassembly or a run during ascent. But now this was a development test. There's a first test flight of Starship, and the goal was to gather the data and, as we said, clear the pad and get ready to go again.
Despite the explosion, they were still celebrating at SpaceX HQ. Elon Musk, the company's CEO, set expectations low. Just getting the rocket off the ground was a major milestone. He tweeted, "Congrats, SpaceX team, on an exciting test launch of Starship. Learned a lot for the next test launch in a few months." The plan for Starship is to land people on the moon in a joint mission with NASA and then to eventually go to Mars. It's radically different from other rockets. This is the Starship launch system. It stands 120 metres tall. That's nearly 400 feet. It has two main parts. At the bottom is the super heavy booster, which has a huge number of engines, 33 of them. Above this is a Starship spacecraft. This can carry cargo or crew. SpaceX says up to 100 people. What's unique is both components will be fully reusable. Explosions at SpaceX aren't unusual. They say it's all part of the learning process.
There's been a lot of develop and fly, design and fly. That's been costly in terms of hardware failures. SpaceX has said that it's been extremely valuable in terms of what SpaceX has learned.
There are concerns about Starship's environmental impact on the fragile local ecosystem. The US authorities, though, say it's passed all their checks.
This is what we saw as that big rocket was climbing into the sky. And you'll notice these are all of the engines, 33 engines at the base of the vehicle. And we're missing some lights. We're missing 6 lights. And it appears that the rocket probably took off with 3 of them not even working and then lost 3 during the process of flight as the rocket climbed into the sky. I could see some asymmetry. It was starting to turn on the video, and then eventually it got to that stage in the flight where it's supposed to separate, or the top part was then to go off into space, and that never happened. And then we got this big explosion, which I should say would have been commanded probably by the computers. They would have realized that this vehicle was out of control, and then they would have sort of ignited a series of charges down the side of the vehicle as well. But actually, SpaceX would have been very pleased with how far they got today. The main thing they had to do was avoid blowing up the launch pad, because that would have put them back months and months. They got flight data, lots of flight data, and they got very close to that point where the 2 parts of the rocket would normally separate. So I think they'll be pretty pleased, actually, with what they've seen today. They've already got another rocket virtually ready to go, and they've got others in various stages of assembly. Maybe by the end of this year, we'll see one work completely all the way through its flight plan.